Saquon Barkley, obviously, 2,000 yards last year. Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to watch Bijan Robinson,
Yeah.
Jamar Gibbs,
Yep.
and Ashton Genty. I put one rookie on there.
Yep.
There's a lot of rookies that have an opportunity to go out there and do good. There's a lot of people that could have made the list too. Kyron Williams, who was over 1,000 yards last year with the Rams. So you got 2,000 yards last year. You win a Super Bowl. Some people, which I don't believe Saquon would ever do this, could you know get the new contract and the Super Bowl ring and the yards and say, you know what, you know, I'm gonna do career preservation mode. Just try to play as long as I can, not trying
Yeah.
to do this or that. I don't think he's that type of guy. So, but their team is also a lot of time when you see a team win a Super Bowl, team gets dismantled. Kind of coaches go here and there, and obviously the turnover and stuff, and they struggle the next however long. But their main piece, the quarterback and the running back position, is really stable,
Mm-hmm.
and their defense. They got a lot of the same guys on defense coming back, and their defense honestly is what won that game because they were able to stop a guy like Patrick Mahomes. Um,
Yes.
so I'm looking to see if he can not repeat a 2,000-yard season, but to stay at that elite level continuously, which he's a special talent. I think he can do it.
Let me throw this stat out at you and get a quick thought from you. So Saquon turned 28 years old back in February. And so he's not at that 30-year-old mark, which is like the dreaded age, right, for running backs. But he's got some wear on his tires, and he carried the ball 345 times last year. So I don't think it's realistic for anyone to say you can just duplicate that again. He might believe it, which he should. He's a player, but from past history and watching the position, I don't think it's fair to say, okay, 2,000 yards again, 300 plus carries again. You're 28 years old. What do you think about when I say that stat? He carried 44 times last year, 45 times, and he's 28 years old. Does that kind of give you any caution to the wind at all with him?
No, because he's just turning 28. I
Good.
think obviously he's still feeling good. When you do carry the ball and you get 2,000 yards like that, a lot of times you're not really getting touched until the second and third level. You're
Mm-hmm.
making guys miss. You got really good plays set up and executing those. So, um, and honestly, I've never seen him really take a square hit that's really hard like that. Um, he's a shifty guy, and that's what the key is. A lot of the people think about big bruising running backs who can, run over guys and things of that nature. But the mark of a good back is you never take a square hit. I think he's really good at that. So
Yeah.
the 345 touches is a lot of touches. I remember being a senior at Tulane, and I had 2,000 yards, and I had 350, 360 touches, something like that. And then I went
Yep.
back to back. So rookie year had 330 carries, something like that, but 60 catches. So I had like 380 touches. So it was like college, then right to
That's what Saquon
NFL.
had last year because he caught 33 passes. So he had
Yeah.
378 touches last year. That's a
And
lot.
and you don't even think about it, but that's a lot. It does compound on you. But um as long as your nutrition is good, and there's more education on that these days than when I was playing, and being able to take care of your body, I think he'll be fine. I think you'll start to see some of these elite type of running backs play longer than the normal um, running back kind of short career of 2.5 years, and
Yeah.
or just even more than a decade type of stuff.
That would
Frank
be
Gore.
great because that's
Frank
kind of a
Gore played.
throwback, right?
Yeah, Frank Gore played 16 years, I think, or even
Yeah.
more. And
Or
Adrian
Emmett.
was
Yeah.
out there for a long time as well. And Emmett Smith, Marcus Allen,
Mm-hmm.
and going back to those type of careers. So, um, yeah, I think it doesn't concern me. I think he will. But speaking of guys who are aging or getting in that 30-year-old range, Derrick Henry, who's the second on my list, almost 2,000 yards. We would have been for the second time, I guess, in his career that he would have went over 2,000, which is, I mean, he's been running the ball. Already had a 2,000-yard season with the Titans, and then
Yeah.
he goes over first year with Baltimore and having an asset like a running quarterback like Lamar Jackson that can do both is obviously really good. But then him as that threat in the backfield. So obviously the previous is no precursor to what will happen in the future. Um,
He's a
but
unicorn, isn't he, Derrick Henry? I mean, he just turned 31, and
yeah,
he's coming off of 1,921 rushing yards, and he's in year
year
this is
10,
year
right?
10 for him
Yeah.
here in
Yeah, I think
2025.
he's breaking the mold of that, which is hard to do. Sometimes it just is dependent on what system you're in, what what team you're on.
Sure.
Um, I remember going into my ninth year with the Jets, and man, I felt like when I was in year five, I felt really good. And then, unfortunately, had a little injury at the end of the year that I had to have surgery, and it was like, dang. And that, as you're older, you don't heal as fast. So, man, it was just kind of downhill from there. And I ended up playing 10, but I think I could have struggled a few more years, but I don't think it was worth going out there and kind of putting your body at risk for a couple of extra yards. But I think, man, Derek is in a place and in a with a team that he can be good for a good amount of time. And he takes care of his body, works hard, and
He's a
and
freak. He's a freak.
he's definitely one of those unicorns. He's as big as a unicorn too.
He's a
but
monster.
um, and then when we talk about Bijan, he was highly uh, recruited and highly rated when he first came out of Texas, and 1,400 plus yards last year. Actually had 60 plus catches, which is something that is really um, being able to be involved passing game wise, and
Yeah.
they really fed him. Now they're trying to figure out their quarterback position, and you can tell they like, this is our guy, we got to feed him. And I think he will be, as long as he stays healthy, he will consistently be that type of player. It's going to be 13, 14, 1,500 rushing yards with 60 plus catches a year if he's able to continue to stay healthy in that
Okay.
aspect. He's going to be, and he's a young player. He can handle those touches.
That's what I was just going
Um,
to say, Matt. Him and Jameer Gibbs, who you probably go to next, 23 years old, both of them right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh, to be 23 again, right?
23, man. That'd be nice. The 23-year-old
Absolutely.
knees and back and everything, his shoulders, yeah. But even Jameer Gibbs, only thing about him is he's always split time. So can he handle a heavier workload, or does he have to? You
I
know,
mean, he ran for 1,400 yards split in time.
yeah, yeah, that's insane,
That's pretty
right?
incredible, right?
That's a high yards per carry average, and
Yep.
that's what you want. But that will, and I would tell him, you know, praise God for having another guy in there like David Montgomery who can do that and split time with you and do well, because it's going to extend the life of your career as well. And then we saw Ashton Genty, right? And everybody's talking about him, another 2,000-yard back coming out of college, and people want to see where he's at, because his last game when he played in the bowl game against Penn State, that defense was really good, and they pretty much shut him down. And it was kind of almost like almost a welcome to the NFL moment, because it's like you're playing against different kinds of defenses now, and you got some even first round picks on their team.
Yeah.
How are you going to fare when the hole isn't wide open? If you got to kind of make people miss in the backfield, if you got to break tackles and things like that. But he looked good against San Francisco. Ran through the hole,
He did.
uh, and got what was there when there was not much there. I saw a safety come up and ran right through him and continue running on that. That was impressive. That he, and he's like a ball of muscle too. Like, he's got that low center of gravity. And if you're coming up from safety trying to tackle him running at full speed, man, good luck to you.